What's going on, guys? I'd like to talk about some Inzektors. Why? Because, well, they're awesome. But why I want to talk about Inzektors? Because I want to bring up some good points. This isn't just about Inzektors in general, it's just about how the game has shifted, but we're going to get to Inzektors on why they are still playable. So Inzektors require Hornet to be good. Hornet and Dragonfly. That's basically the deck. People try to make it into a deck that makes rank 6s and Xyzs and stuff, but that's... Personally, I don't think that's what the deck was for. I think the deck was meant to spam Hornet, spam Dragonfly, get the cards on field, to keep abusing Hornet, and then to go for game. That's what I always thought the deck was about. I didn't ever think it was about trying to make Xyzs or really anything, really. Now, yes, there's only one Hornet and one Dragonfly now, so the deck has some issues, but it can be reminisced, sort of. Since Macrocosmos and D-Fissure aren't really a thing anymore, decks that require Lightsworn and Sylvans, and that's also why those decks are probably, those cards are limited right now, is because Konami wants to push Sylvans and probably the new Lightsworns then, and a bunch of other decks all play off of the graveyard. So decks that play out of the graveyard is Inzektors. You need the graveyard, and what used to hurt them was cards that banish. Yes, there's DD Crow that sides in, there's cards that can banish one monster, so if you get your Hornet banished, it kind of sucks dick. But that's for game 2, and even then, you don't need to rely on Hornet to go for game. You can, you use Excalibur's, I think it is, 800 attack boost, your hoppers, stuff like that, you can get big beat sticks on the field. And by the time they already banish Hornet, most of the time, you're already popping stuff like crazy. And if you run Veiler and stuff like that in Dark Armed, you already have some backup plans in case they do banish your Hornet to make it a little more consistent. Now, I'm not saying the deck's tier 1, tier 2, maybe not even tier 3, but it is more of a viable deck than I think people give it credit for. I feel like people just completely forgot about it. Not like Harvey's where they just started playing it and forgot. Like, people are like, oh, Hornet's banned, I'm out. Like, once something my Dragonfly's at 1, I'm out. But with Dark Grapher, Armageddon Knight, and Foolish Burial being a thing, even Curry Bandit, if you really want to go that far, getting Hornet into the grave is not that much of a problem. And getting Dragonfly in your hand isn't much of a problem. 3 pot dualities, 1 day apiece. You can really dig out Dragonfly, and you got Centipede for searching. Not hard. Not hard at all. This deck's assault factor is so bad though. Once you get a Hornet in the grave and you do a Centipede Dragonfly play, so you're getting cards on the field and you keep popping, your opponent usually picks up and leaves game because he's like, you have Hornet in the grave, I don't have anything to do to get rid of Hornet, and you're just going to keep popping everything I get, no matter what. And if you're a good Inzektor player, you know how to counteract stuff. Also, you're probably playing about 12, at least 10 plus back row, and that's going to present a huge problem as it is. I think the deck of my Inzektor count, the monster count's like 14 or 15, then a few spells, mostly potted dualities and Excaliburs and MSTs, and the rest are all traps. And I mean, that might sound like a lot when I said all that spells, but really it's not. I think I do run 12 traps. And 12 traps are a problem for any deck. Oh, that's a lot of back row to deal with. And 3 pot dualities, 1 day apiece, that's a good amount of consistency with pot dualities. And Centipede is my searcher, and I have my Armageddon Knights and my Foolish Burials. Alright, let's pause for the Inzektors for a second and then talk about why it's more viable. Well, it's more viable because when it got hit, Macrocosmos and D-Fissure, I think we're both at 3, and people sided that in like crazy, and DD Crow is a big siding card. I barely ever see DD Crow sided in anymore. All decks run off the graveyard, and Konami's going to keep trying that, so why they're viable right now is because Konami wants the graveyard decks to keep flowing. They're trying to push Sylvans, stuff like that. They want your graveyard to be accessible, they don't want it to be banished. So Inzektors, even if it is at 1 Hornet and 1 Dragonfly, you don't have to worry about banishing as much as you used to, especially since people don't usually side in even D-Fissure or Macrocosmos. Yes, I am aware Macrocosmos is sometimes sided into decks, but it is definitely not as prevalent as past formats. But that's just my thought on the meta, guys, and Inzektors, but I'm just saying, it's a fun deck. People should play it some more. I feel like you'd see a lot more play. There was some Inzektors that topped, like last year, after it got hit, with some curious builds. I forget what it is. You could probably go back and search early 2013, or was it late 2012? I don't remember. It was after they got hit and they were messed up. So it does show they can top regionals and YCSs. They just have to have the right person behind it and the right structure set. But that's just what I think, guys. Let me know what you think down below. And I'm out for today. Thanks for watching. Hit the like button, all that stuff, and I'll see you later, guys. Peace.